Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love haunted history and cemeteries as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. Today, to wrap up our carnival-themed month of February, I'm going to be taking you to the Ringling Brothers Museum in Sarasota, and we'll also be visiting the Manasota Memorial Gardens. Enjoy! We're here at Yoders Restaurant and Amish Village in Sarasota. Gonna go in and get a bite to eat. They have this cute little gift shop over here next to the restaurant. There's a line to get into the restaurant, so we'll see how long this takes today. I'm hoping we can get in and not have to wait too long.
Oh yeah, that's what I want.
We have all these handmade crafts and baskets. Ew. This is like a dish sponge. That's cool.
No, that's the only one.
Little pot holders. Some pottery. Really nice clay pottery. Quilt. If you're into like the shabby chic country style, a lot of stuff like that here. Books, jewelry. Pretty cool.
There's a grocery store, fresh grocery store next to the next building.
I know they have really sweet, don't they? I think the best things.
These baskets are so cute. So cute. Look, one for Toto. Candles. I love a good candle. Orange goblin cupcake. Yes, please. Oh my God. We're here at Manasota Memorial Gardens, established in 1925, located in Bradenton. Let's go in and see what we can see. This is going to be a fun cemetery. It's very beautiful. It looks pretty big, but lots of really neat headstones. And over here we have a Driscoll. You don't hear that name very much. I wonder if it's the same Driscoll that owns the berry farm, Driscoll's Berries. If you go into the grocery store sometimes, you'll see the blueberries or raspberries and their Driscoll's brand. Got a Perry there. Another name I see often all over Florida is Wooten. I see a lot of Wootens. Whoa, all you Yellowstone fans out there, we got a Dutton buried here. You see this beautiful monument right there? That's Charles Ringling, the great entertainer and circus founder, Charles Ringling. Can you imagine just having this kind of money to blow on a mausoleum? I mean, I would live in there. It's awesome. It's huge. Just to give you an idea of how big this mausoleum is. And I'm standing well in front of it. It's very tall. Born Charles Edward Ringling, spelled R-U-N-G-E-L-I-N-G originally because he was German. He was one of 7 sons of August Ringling, a German immigrant and harness maker. After moving from Iowa to Baraboo, Wisconsin, the Ringling brothers created a vaudeville variety show. It was performed live for the first time in Mezomanie, Wisconsin on November 27, 1882. And 2 years later, the Ringling brothers opened their first circus, and by 1887 was dubbed the iconic Ringling Brothers Circus. By 1900, the Ringling Brothers had one of the largest shows of all time. In 1907, the Ringling Brothers purchased their largest competitor, the Barnum and Bailey Circus, for $400,000. Charles became the operating manager for the circus, where he was known as Mr. Charlie. He was a pioneer of the Sarasota area, donated land for a courthouse, and founded Sarasota's third bank, the Ringling Brothers Bank and Trust Company. He also built a high-rise hotel, the Sarasota Terrace. Ringling Boulevard in Sarasota is actually named for him. So this is the beautiful mausoleum, and it is the centerpiece for this cemetery. It's the largest mausoleum by far, and I've never quite seen anything quite like it. It's very unique. Now, I can't afford something like this to live in, or much less die in, you know? I mean, this thing must have cost a fortune. Stairway going all the way around it. Of course, I'm not climbing any stairs today. But it's just gorgeous. I'll go up the more shallow stairs over here in the front, just to give you an idea of what it looks like on the inside. And inside it's just gorgeous as well. There it is. Kind of like a little church. Beautiful. We've got Charles on the left and Edith Connolly Ringling on the right, which I'm assuming was his wife. Look how cool these chairs are. They're made of that same kind of stone that Mr. Ringling's mausoleum is made out of. It's kind of like a marble. What do the chairs symbolize? Well, let's see what it says. May the souls of the righteous, through the mercy of God, rest in peace and light perpetual shine upon them. Doesn't really explain the chairs. I'd like to know the reason behind that, but cool. This is like the Freemason area of the cemetery, and that's super exciting. All flat headstones. We're gonna head over to another portion of the cemetery, and they also have some niches here that we might check out. Making my way over to the chapel here. gonna see if it's open. Maybe I can go in and have a look-see. I'll tell you what, it is hard walking around these cemeteries with a knee like mine right now. Kudos to anybody that's got like knee or leg problems, because you never know how important your knees are until like you lose function of one of them. Then you're like, wow, they really do serve like a major purpose. Gotta take that stuff for granted, don't we? Check it out. It looks like it might not be open, but sometimes I find my way in. This door's locked. It's kind of dark in there, so it may not be open today. It's pretty traditional. The ceiling is cool. That's pretty neat. Nice sunlight coming through. Skylight, whatever you want to call it. Was another person that I was trying to find today. Carl Wallenda, tightrope walker and patriarch of the circus group known as the Great Wallendas. Fortunately, Mr. Ringling spared no expense when he bought his mausoleum and resting place for him and his wife. Makes it a lot easier to find them when they're extravagant like that. But I mean, most of these celebrities, you honestly, I mean, if you don't know where they're buried, it could take you forever to find them. I never did find Dr. Paul Bearer. He's totally hidden somewhere. I like this. Isn't this nice? It's like a terracotta marble. That looks really pretty. Oh, it says these doors remain locked at all times. Well, I don't know why. Sometimes people want to go in. Maybe the people that have loved ones in the chapel area, they probably have their own key. Rotunda. This is a cool little area in the middle of the niche. Definitely a pretty cemetery. Lots to see here. We got a little closed off area here. As long as a man's name remains on the face of the earth, he is immortal. That's true. Look at Mr. Ringling. When they achieve a certain level of success here on earth, they are never forgotten. I mean, it could be anybody. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Hollywood celebrity. It could be an author. It could be an artist. Look at Norman Rockwell. Nobody will ever forget his artwork. Ansel Adams. You know, these are artists. You know, an artist and a photographer. J.K. Rowling, the author. She's made her imprint, and many others. So that's very true words there. I could only hope that my little channel becomes something to be proud of one of these days. I work hard on it, and I hope y'all enjoy it as much as I do. I found finally in life something that I'm passionate about. It took a long time to find it too. It took a long time to realize that I could make something out of it, and it's gonna take a long time to get there. But as long as I put in the work, I believe I can do it. Although this cemetery has a gorgeous front gate, it's otherwise wide open. It's on a busy street, but it's wide open. So they do have, you know, a daylight hours only thing. You could probably come in the early evening and no one would bother you. there's a story that I could tell you that I was reading online when I was looking up just the history of the cemetery. And a woman actually had an experience here. You can believe or choose not to believe these sorts of things, but they do happen from time to time. So a woman was over in the cremation gardens, and she said the sun was coming down. The day was coming to a close, and she had just received bad news from her doctor that she was terminally ill. So she thought it smart to start making arrangements for what could happen. She came over to the Manasota Memorial Gardens. She thought they were beautiful, and she thought maybe this would be a good place to be laid to rest. So she was here one night just checking out the grounds, probably trying to figure out where she wanted to be here. And the cemetery was closed, but nobody really was bothering her or anything. There was nobody really on the grounds or anything to keep her from being here. So she remained here as the sun went down, and she was right over here in the Memorial Gardens somewhere. And on one of these benches, like you see behind me here, she saw a little girl sitting there. She thought that's rather odd, the little girl all in the cemetery by herself, with long blonde hair and a braid going down her back. But the girl was not facing her. So she went to address the girl. And before she could say anything, the girl said her name. And she was shocked to hear her name being said. And the girl kind of giggled a little bit. And the girl told her, "Your grandmother sent me here. She was afraid that seeing her would scare you. So she sent me here to deliver a message." All the while, the girl that's sitting there has her back to the woman, you know, so the woman has not seen this girl's face. She had gotten just close enough to her, and then that's when the girl said her name. So the girl proceeds and says, "Your grandmother wanted me to tell you that you're actually going to be here a long time, that you're not going anywhere." And you can imagine her shock, because she had just received news that she was terminally ill. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm not going to die? And the little girl laughed and said, "No, you're not going to die. You're going to live a long life." And that was basically the experience that she had. I guess the girl vanished, or maybe she turned around for a second and turned back and looked, and the girl was gone. But it was just a brief encounter with a young girl that was sitting here in the memory gardens, who claimed to have been sent in place of her grandmother. So you can imagine her relief that she wasn't dying. It's a pretty cool story anyway. I found them! The great Wallendas are buried right here. So there's a niche in the back of the cemetery, almost to the back. It's in the middle back of the cemetery. And then over to the right, you'll find the Wallendas. The Circus act, that was a whole family. And the patriarch of the family is right here, Carl Wallenda. So their claim to fame was the 7-man pyramid, in which 4 men stood on a wire 35 feet in the air, with the 2 pairs yoked together with shoulder bars. The second level atop them would be 2 more men also yoked together with shoulder bars, and then a woman topped the pyramid, first sitting and then standing on a chair. And my poppy probably dated her, so just kidding. I came to find out that my poppy, my dad's dad, dated Duina Zacchini, the circus performer, from my video last week, so, or the week before last. So that's wild and crazy. Apparently he was into circus chicks. But here's Carl, the patriarch of the family, and Helen, the matriarch. And over on their headstone it says Aerialists Supreme. On January 30th, 1962, though, tragedy struck when the front man in the act lost his balance. The pyramid then collapsed, causing the death of 2 of the performers and paralyzing another. Carl saved the woman on top by catching and holding her until a net could be rigged to catch their fall. His grandchildren continue his legacy today, and his tightrope tradition. So that's that's really cool. The family's still going strong and still performing. Here are some hunts. Griffiths, Clark, got Constantine over there. If these names ring a bell to you, you may have family here. Muller, Glass, Garrison, Kendrick, Snow. We're going to be getting out of here pretty soon because we're going over to the Ringling Museum, but I was really happy to find the Wallendas, because that was the other circus performer that I wanted to find and tell you about. So that was great. Yeah, this is a beautiful cemetery, not a lot of shade, and it is a sunny day. So make sure when you come out that you're dressed appropriately for the weather, so that way you don't sweat to death. You will not find shade here. And it's pretty big. It's a pretty big one to walk around in. So hope you enjoyed walking through the cemetery with me today. I'm gonna grab my husband and we're gonna head over to the Ringling Museum. See you soon. We're here at the John and Mabel Ringling Museum of Art. Let's go in and see what we can see. Zucchini's outfits. We visited them at the Showman's Rest Cemetery 2 weeks ago. And she's the one that dated my poppy, my dad's dad. Isn't that awesome? Right here on display at the Ringling Museum. As well as all about the Zucchini family. And we just saw Bruno at the Manasota Cemetery. So the Zucchinis have a mausoleum at the Manasota Cemetery. And over here it's talking about Edmundo zucchini, who was the first human cannonball to use compressed air. And right here you can watch the cannonball. There, oh my gosh, that's probably Dweena right there. And the outfit that she's wearing in this video is there. How awesome. There they go, they're going down into the cannon.
3, 2, 1, fire!
Huh? Ta-da! There she is! Dweena! Once again, we have a miniature display here of the trains and railroads that carried all of the animals, the circus animals, to the circus. It's a whole display that spans the entire length of this room. And then over here, looks like the farms maybe, where they kept the animals. Cool. If you're into miniature stuff, this is cool. I love miniature stuff. Look at this. Now we're getting to the circus. Look at that. How cool. Again, this takes time to put this together and millions of dollars probably to create this. It's got little things here that explain to you. It says each wagon was pulled from the railroad yard to the show's home for the day. The circus, they were carefully positioned on the lot to make working as efficient as possible. The wagons carried all the equipment, furnishings, wardrobe, and props for the show. So it'll tell you about all the different steps to creating the greatest show on earth. How cool. I just turned evening in this room. All the lights dimmed, and it looks like evening in the little setup they have here. You can see all the lights, the lanterns are on, the street lights, and it's really cool. Really cool. I am thoroughly impressed. Everybody's getting ready for the show here in the tents. Got a little video on there.
I don't think anyone important in the circus had done, but I know.
This is crazy. You could probably spend a whole day just going around this room. It's huge. Here's where everyone's parked. Well, the lights just went up again. I guess it shows you day and night that all of this is going on during the time of the circus. circus. Everyone's in their seat waiting for the show. And there it is. It's popping off. There's trapeze artists in the air. How great is that? The work that went into creating this. I mean, it's just unreal. Right over there, we've got the Wallendas, the pyramid of human beings. Oh, look, they're going. How cool is that? The circus is a unique experience, and I haven't been since I was a kid. Evidently, they're bringing the circus back this year, 2023, with no animals, all human acts. We'll see. They even have the sky painted like the sky. Isn't that awesome? This is all behind glass. It's all a huge exhibit. We arrived here at 4 o'clock today, so it was only $10 to get in. See, it's dimming. The light's dimming again. That's so cool. But yeah, it was only $10 to get in if you come at 4, because it closes at 5. And while there is a lot to see, it's still a pretty good deal. We're headed out of the museum. Hope you enjoyed it. I have a ghost tour tonight. Let's get out of here. Thank you so much for joining me again today. It's been so fun learning about the circus with you, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see you next time.